If you're having trouble with your high school head, he's giving you the blues. You wanna graduate.
So, Donna, what is it exactly that you have in front of us here?
I have a delicious spread of crackers and dips.
It's also known as an audio hellscape. You have presented 3 kinds of dippables and 3 dips, 4 kinds of dippables and 3 dips, none of which we can enjoy while recording an audio program.
You're welcome.
But you do have olives here, which I think are a pretty silent killer. Not a killer. Silent guest into the program.
We'll find out.
We will find out. I just have to quietly eat the olive.
Just choose.
They'll never know. Welcome to the Bargain Den, everybody, where we take deep dives into bargain bins and bargain bags and try to figure out whether or not these so-called bargain movies are or are not bargain worthy, if they present themselves in a frugal way and meet the standards that we have set forth in a very clear guideline.
Extremely clear. We have a very set, clear guideline with which to categorize these movies. And that is completely opinionated, frugal versus not frugal.
Exactly. Donna, how have you been? I haven't seen you in a week.
I've been all right, dude. I've been all right. I've been just working a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't actually, this is the only time we ever actually see each other is for this podcast, so.
Yeah, so it's very important to us.
A lot of people ask how to make a marriage work, and that's what we say. Is just keep it separate till the podcast.
Only meet for a few hours each week to make and edit a podcast.
Yeah, we were trying to look into buying 2 copies of every movie that we get, so that way we can view them separately as well.
I want to give a little background before we announce the movie we've picked. I have always been a cat lover. We have 2 cats, and young me would have been absolutely just head over heels that we picked this movie. I'm still very excited. I'm very glad we watched this. I was obsessed with all things cat. We had bobcats on the property, and oh man, I would get so excited, like, oh, there's a bobcat in the yard, and like run to the window, like, where? I have to see the bobcat. Also, that was my favorite part of the zoo, was the big cats. They were the best. Lion King was the best movie ever. That's not what we watched, but Brandon, go ahead and tell us about what we did watch. It's my turn, so I'll tell about the plot, but you can introduce the title.
Yeah, absolutely. Swamp Tigers. Natural Killers presents Swamp Tigers. We got this out of the vintage stock bargain bag. Still working our way through that, but we watched Swamp Tigers.
I think we got 2 grab bags and just threw them into one bag, right?
Mm-mm.
I thought we did.
Nope, that wouldn't be very frugal.
No?
Nope.
Oh. I could swear we each, picked one. Maybe not.
Nope.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
Maybe it is. So, Swamp Tigers by Natural Killers. One thing already that stands out is this was...
Not related to Natural Born Killers.
That is also
produced
true.
by Quentin Tarantino.
It's also a book. There's this little book, and then it's a hardcover, and in the front it's a little DVD, and so it's a book and a movie. Wow, we got so much extra.
Already on the track for being a particularly frugal movie.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there's a quiz back here. We have to do the quiz. Can we do the quiz?
Sure. You want to talk about the movie first? And then,
yes.
Okay.
So we follow a cameraman into, and I'm going to have to use this book to help me out.
You didn't pay attention to the movie?
It was a lot.
I told you to take notes. said we could watch a movie this time.
It was
only if we take notes.
extremely informative. There's a lot of facts. Like, one of the ones I do remember, there's about 100 people each year killed by these tigers. Okay, yes. It's in a part of Bangladesh that's all like swampland with mangrove trees. So yeah, it's in this part of Bangladesh that's all swampland and mangrove trees. And these tigers are super adept for this very specific habitat. So they call them swamp tigers, but I assume they're pretty much Bengal tigers that have adapted to swamplands.
Yeah, I think the whole swamp tiger thing was kind of a bit of a gimmick for the movie. It wasn't.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody referred to them as swamp tigers. To kind of put like a Sharknado vibe on these tigers.
It is pretty terrifying. I never thought about sharks being in a swamp. Sharks. You said Sharknado. Okay, my bad. Reverse. I never thought about tigers being in a swamp. It's pretty terrifying because swamps are already pretty, I would say, spooky places.
Yeah, I mean, there's always a swamp monster in a swamp.
Exactly.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
And there's also always a old lady on a very, very decrepit cottage type village.
Mm-hmm. And she's probably a witch. Almost definitely.
No, she's an old hag.
Oh.
That's the difference.
Well, sometimes she's a witch.
Well, okay. See,
Sometimes she's been cursed by a witch.
No. Look, old hags are somewhat witches. They're just a little bit different. They have a little bit different properties to them. There's a difference between a witch and a hag. Hags lives in swamps. Hags live in swamps. Witches.
Good to know.
Well, they can live anywhere, but they can also live in swamps. But hags lives in swamps. But I said it again.
Hags lives in swamps.
All right.
Hags lives in swampses.
Hags lives in swampses. Tyga, get out of my swamp. That was my really bad Shrek.
Tyga, get out of my swamp.
Hey, mate. Hey, Tyga.
Tyga,
get out of
get
my
out
swamp.
of my swamp.
Get out of my swamp, mate. Hey, I'm Shrek with my pet tiger that talks.
What
All
if
going
there's
Boston.
tigers around Shrek's swamp?
There's not.
How do you know?
Because the world of Shrek exists within the viewing spectrum of the movie.
I'm gonna make a spoof where there's swamp tigers.
You're going to make an animated spoof where there's swamp tigers and Shrek?
I never said animated.
Oh, live action?
Maybe.
Where there's swamp tigers.
Maybe it's stop motion. I never specified.
I mean, that's a form of animating.
But it's not. You don't hear animated and think stop motion.
So you're going to make a stomp motion.
Stomp. Boom, 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 boom. Stomping.
You're going to make a stop motion Swamp Thing addition to Shrek.
Yes, where he has to deal with the tigers.
He has to deal with the tigers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you give me a bit of that? Can I get a little bit of a line from that?
You know, I feel like we got to get back on track here. Let me tell you about this movie.
I don't think I can. I don't think I can enjoy it without knowing exactly what this sounds like.
I feel like this is not funny at all. Because it's just going to be Shrek having to deal with these tigers. Like, he's hiding in his little hut under the tree roots at night. Like, I hear them crunching bones. But then during the day, he comes out and he's like, I'll crunch your bones, roar, and pretends to be all scary. But then at night, he's scared of them.
Oh, so it's kind of a lesson to Shrek.
Yeah.
Okay. Where he learns that he not only is he not having to be a scary person, where does this lie in the trilogy and or 4-part and or Puss and Boost?
You know what? Maybe it's
expansion of the Shrek
beforehand.
universe? Oh, it's beforehand.
Because we don't see any of the tigers. Maybe Shrek makes them go extinct.
Maybe Shrek kills out all the tigers.
Wow. That really puts a twist on Shrek.
Turns out, you know what? Shrek is a monster.
Yeah.
Not only is he an ogre, but he is a monster.
Well, see, that's why it comes before the rest. Like, that's his lowest point. And then he meets Donkey and Fiona and everyone else and realizes he doesn't have to be a monster. But this is like his dark days that he never tells anybody about.
In the last 2 or so weeks, we've talked more about Shrek than I ever have in my whole life.
You're the one that pushed this. You're the one that started this. You brought it up because you were like, "Stay out of my swamp, tigers," and that voice to mimic Shrek.
What's happening to me? Smash Mouth played down the street from us at a free concert the other night, and we missed it.
Yeah.
Don't sound disappointed.
It would have been cool. We've always talked about getting Shrek masks.
We have never talked about getting Shrek masks and going to a Smash Mouth concert.
Yes, we did.
No, we did not.
The 2 concerts we always talked about.
We have not always talked about it.
The other one being going to see, what's the band? No. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stained, right?
Stained what?
Going to see Stained, and then when they say it's been a while, like, sing along with it and just leave after that. Like, that's all we came for.
I don't think I've
but
ever
sit
heard
in the
of
front
that
row. Brandon, don't pretend like we haven't dreamed about these concerts.
Nope, never dreamed about them.
We have. All right. Deny your innermost fantasies. It's fine.
Are you going to talk about this movie or not?
Yeah, if you'll let me.
You're the one talking about Shrek.
Yeah, you brought it up. Okay. This cameraman has...
Shrek.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop.
I really don't know the name of the cameraman.
It's not important. The cameraman wasn't in it at all. It was the guy, the narrator guy. Not the narrator guy, but the nature guy.
Who was the cameraman?
They never said the
main
cameraman's
one.
name. You mean the guy, the nature doc guy?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
I don't
was
remember.
filming them from his little hidey holes. Anyway, so this guy, he was... Okay, they said he was the first one to capture swamp tigers on camera. Or on film, I think was the distinction. I had a weirdly hard time believing that, I guess. Maybe it's true, but the way they were saying it sounded like maybe that was just his first time capturing them on camera. But he had done that before, and they showed his teensy snippet of seeing one. And then he went back for many months over couple periods of time to try and get some really good shots of these tigers and learn more about them. And he hires a crew. He's got an armed guard with him the whole time. They've got like a boathouse nearby in the swamp that they can escape to if they need what?
Nothing. It's just hard to hear swamp.
You know, Shrek's not the only one who gets to live in the swamp.
All right, keep going.
Tigers would tear him apart.
Who, Shrek?
Yeah.
Why do you keep bringing up Shrek?
You do.
I did not.
Anyway.
I can laugh if I want to.
You can leave your friends behind.
Because if your friends don't dance, and if they don't dance, well,
they don't laugh. Anyway, he has this crew that's building like hideouts and camouflages and helping him track the tigers so he can then sit in these little perches for up to 48 hours at a time waiting to film these tigers because, as they explained, it would be almost impossible to track them since they're extremely stealthy and fast, plus dangerous because they have killed people, and that's something that they don't want to happen, is to die by a tiger. Makes sense. His first night, or first perch, doesn't go super great, if I remember. Like, he has 3 different perches. His second one goes a lot better, and he sees a mama and 3 cubs. And then he goes to the third perch, where he sees this mama, 3 cubs, and a male tiger that was potentially the father because they didn't fight, so seemed like mama tiger was cool with this male tiger just taking some of their food, so probably related somehow.
I'm so glad you're telling the story of this because in my head, my story version would have been about 30 seconds long of man goes to film tigers, finds tigers, films tigers.
They're so interesting.
They are.
So then he comes back in January, which, if you don't know, for that area is their summer, and it's super freaking hot. And apparently he sees them, they don't have footage of this, but he sees the mama and 3 cubs crossing the river, so they have a pretty good idea of where they're at. He builds another hideout there, but they get, like, scared off by poachers or illegal loggers or something like that. They're not sure, but there's, like, a warning shot fired, and they have to leave, and then they come back, and he's like, I'm gonna perch here anyway, even though they, like, ransacked and destroyed the perch they had built so far. And he stays there, and it works out great for him because he gets to film the mama and 3 cubs long enough to find out that this is a separate mom and 3 cubs. And so there's 2 families of tigers, swamp tigers, living like just across the river from each other, which is pretty close, I guess, for tigers. So he figures that it's probably the same male that, you know, made both sets of cubs. And that's why they're chill with each other. So it was really neat. It was really cool. The second set of cubs was much older, but it was so stinking cute because with both the moms and sets of cubs, every time the cubs would like leave or come back, they'd like nuzzle up with their mom, and it was super cute and it was precious. And then the moms would like growl at the cameraman, but I guess they never attacked him. But they were like, I know you're there. Just stay there. That's it. That's pretty much it. And we just learned a lot about tigers and the things they eat, and yeah.
Can I just want to add a little bit of information, if that's okay?
Yes, please.
So the film was narrated by a John Michie. I would like to read his bio here on IMDb real quick. Yeah, this is the bio of John Michie. Ruggedly handsome and very versatile actor John Michie has been a regular screen actor on British television for years. Amazingly, it wasn't until recently that Michie got a starring role. He is famed for playing the lovable rogue DI Robbie Ross in the wonderful ITV drama Taggart. Due to those chiseled good looks, John has become somewhat of a sex symbol. He is often billed as the thinking woman's crumpet.
Well, that was the narrator?
That was the narrator. I didn't know you could write your own thing on IMDb, but you can apparently. That's who was narrating it. So I would almost like to rewatch it, thinking about
How handsome he is.
about how much he is the thinking woman's crumpet.
The thinking woman's crumpet.
I wonder if that could work. You know, if you go talk to some lady somewhere and you're like, I just want you to know, many women consider me a crumpet.
Especially smart women.
Especially a thinking woman. So this is actually part 3 actually I don't know how many there are, but it's part 3 in a series for the natural killers. Mm-hmm. It appeared to include polar bears and sharks and...
There were some regular bears as well.
Regular bears?
I don't know. It didn't specify if they were grizzly or brown bears, but they were one of those.
There was one of them. There was like the small, regular, and large bears. Yeah. The ordinary bear, you know, the one you see most.
The not polar bears.
The not polar bear.
And they weren't black bears, so you know.
I do think it's funny that last week for our nature episode, somewhat nature episode, being in the cabin, that we watched Hustle and Flow, and this week we decided to watch a nature doc.
Hey, it's what we pulled out.
It is what we pulled out. We didn't decide. The bag decided for us.
Natural killers, definitely sensationalized a bit. So it's really funny to me that IMDb description is so sensational.
Oh, about the actor?
Yeah, about the narrator.
Well, that is his own personal. That has nothing to do with this documentary. That's just on his personal.
Right. It's kind of funny because everything about this movie was a bit sensational. The only preview was for this series, and it was all about how dangerous what they're doing is, which, to be fair, yes, dangerous. But just on the back, the first line, this enthralling film brings you face to face with the beautiful yet terrifying man-eating tigers that stalk the mangrove swamps of the Bay of Bengal, striking fear into the heart of every living being.
Mm-hmm. And it didn't seem like the people who actually lived there were that afraid. I mean, I'm sure they are, but they were. I forgot, Donna. They train otters to catch fish.
That was so cool.
They did train otters to catch fish. They had otters on leashes, and then they would they would get the fishes. They would get the otters to corral the fishes into the nets and catch the fish, and then throw
It
them.
was so cool.
It was very cool. I didn't know that was a thing.
And it was kind of terrifying because at first I was like, oh, those poor otters. But then it was like, they're living pretty well, though, as far as domestic animals go.
It's very true. I mean, we didn't see their home life, but
That's true.
there was also a lot of other animals in this. I think I maybe forgot to mention there was macaws, little monkeys that were super cute and a little bit too human for me to feel comfortable.
Yep.
There was one point when a macaw dug up a root, and before he ate the root, he went down and vigorously washed off the root, and it was just very a little too human. Made me a little uncomfortable about my relationship to other species.
Monkeys always make me feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's why I
They're
don't
so
like
close.
the zoo.
Agreed.
Makes me sad.
Yeah, ever since, like going back after about 13 or so has always been a little bit sadder each time. Mm-hmm. We have a really good zoo here
They're
in
amazing.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best in the nation. And it really shows, like, it's a great zoo, and the climate is kind of perfect for a zoo because it can be very hot or very cold here. So as long as they've got indoor options for all the animals, like in every season you're gonna have animals outside, whether it's in the summer and all the African region animals are out, or like in the winter they don't have polar bears or anything. So I actually don't know that they have very like cold climate animals, so maybe it's perfect, I don't know. Anyway, it's a pretty impressive zoo. They've got a lot of animals and it seems like they take good care of them. They've gotten a lot of rescue animals that were that were in, right? Or am I just pulling this out of my butt?
No, I just don't know why we're going on a long tangent about the zoo.
I don't know, because it's cool.
It is cool.
But it can be sad, like monkeys.
It can be sad like monkeys.
Anyway, no, tigers are really cool.
Jeez.
A lot of the animals in here are cool. The monkeys, they eat leaves off of the mangrove trees, but I don't know, they're just picky or sloppy or what.
Well, the little ones don't know to eat the leaves yet. And so,
Right, they just mimic their parents and then drop them.
This has been Nature Talk with Brandon and Donna, episode 2. There were monkeys, there were deer, there were pigs and birds and lizards.
And chickens.
And that's a bird.
Yeah, but it's a flightless bird.
Okay, yeah. Well, wait. Chickens can fly? No, that was the whole
Not
point
really.
of Chicken Run, wasn't it?
Yeah. Because this was also a domesticated chicken that became wild
No.
in the swamp.
It was
That's what they said.
No, they said it was a local cousin. It was a cousin to the domestic chicken.
Which pretty much means it was once a domestic chicken like hundreds of years ago that got out and then learned to survive in the mangrove
That doesn't
forest.
mean that. I'm going to cut this part out because that does not mean that.
I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
They said it was a relative. It was a relative of
Okay.
the domestic chicken.
It was very pretty.
It was a very pretty chicken.
But yes, lots of animals, and they did a pretty cool job of actually going into each of these animals.
There were hugging lizards.
That was so hilarious and cute.
Yeah, these lizards, they were monitors, computer screens. No, they were they were monitor lizards, and they one of the local. I keep saying local. I don't. One of the like a rival male came up upon this group of other monitor lizards and kind of challenged the head male lizard. And they don't fight and bite each other. What they do is they just stand up on their hind legs and hug it out and squeeze.
Just squeeze.
You just squeeze.
Steve.
Come on, bro. Steve. Okay.
I love you, bro. I love you more, bro. I love you too much. I'm gonna bug you on the ground now. That was pretty much how it went.
Yeah. Were there any other animals? Fish, otters, monkeys, deer. Deer were a little sexist.
Yeah, that was kind of sad. It was like the male deer can reach some of the low-hanging leaves, but the females are too short, so the males kind of just nudge them away. Like,
The females
go
just kind of
away.
get in the way of the food
Yeah.
process, so they have to go live get food from the tiger area.
Yeah, good luck.
Well, Donna, was this a frugal movie?
Looking from the nature observer's perspective, from the cameraman, he's hiring locals.
Shopping local, always shop local.
Yes, shopping local. From what I know about the area, he probably didn't have to pay too much. So...
I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing, but yeah.
No, it's not. Like, it kind of made me sad to see. Like, there was one kind of really older, weathered man who was building his second hideout.
It was always kind of funny because the narrator, they would always talk about how, and then he had to build his next hideout here above the swamp, and it was difficult and dangerous. Mm-hmm. But that dude didn't pick up anything. He just had like four. It was always like off to the side, like, yes, put the bamboo there.
Yeah. It's kind of sad a little.
Kind of a bummer.
But cheap.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to have some morality discussions here at the bargain den at some point of like, our morality has to be worth something. We can't just be like, well, killing people, that's an easy way to get out of paying for stuff.
But what I'm assuming, though, is that they did pay them. Like, they have to have a budget. It was a pretty well-made nature documentary. So I'm trying to look at it as hopefully they paid them fairly, at least. Because there's a lot of people who hire poor people to do things and then just don't pay them because they don't have to, because they're terrible people. But I think these guys got paid.
I assume that he wouldn't be able to come back month after month if he wasn't paying them something.
True.
Hopefully.
And there was at least 3 of them that seemed to be there every time. Anyway... Sorry. It's just that one bummed me out a little bit, just to see these people slaving away for him. But there was a funny moment on that note on his second hideout, and the narrator was talking about how, like, this hideout would require a lot more extensive blah 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 because he is in such a dangerous position. He's pretty much going to live in a cage for the next 2 days. And then they interview one of the guys building it. Yeah, well,
they say, and the locals are blown away by the sheer force of the stability of this cage. And then they cut to a gentleman who has been working with him, and he's like, yeah, the last one took like 20 bamboo, and this one's taken like 70. And he just kind of seemed annoyed, not blown away by the fortitude of this perch.
Yeah.
What was the word he used for it?
Hideout?
No, there was like a one single word. Doesn't matter.
Hidey hole.
Nope, that was definitely not the word.
I feel like it had something to do with hide.
I mean, maybe like hutch or something.
Maybe.
Okay, so yeah, shopping local. And really using your resources that way. A plus, hopefully, with an asterisk next to it, maybe. And what else?
Now, on a non-human side, because I feel like that pretty much covers the human side. This, after all, is a nature documentary. All the animals were extremely frugal, as they had to be, because this is an extremely intense environment that they're living in. Except the monkeys. What are they called? Macaws? Macaws. The macaws were a little bit... They were probably the least frugal of the animals.
Why do you say that?
Well, because they drop half the leaves they eat, even the adults.
Well, it's because they get the moisture and the insects off of them.
Right.
And that's what they eat. Really.
They eat some of the leaves, too.
Yeah, but they're looking for the moisture and insects.
Yeah. But, I mean, I guess that's true, yeah. They've got a really good system going with the deer, where they're feeding the deer, and they're also alerting the deer.
What do the deer do, though?
Eat. But they don't harm the monkeys. I really wish I had taken biology more recently, and I could remember the names of all these relationships. Symbiotic, where one benefits and the other is neutral. I thought a symbiotic was where they both benefited.
Yeah, well, I guess in a way the deer help the monkeys by being bait for the tigers.
That is true. Like, the tigers would rather go after the deer than the monkeys, is what it seemed like. So, a little extra protection for the monkeys, but the monkeys screech and let the deer know that the tiger's close by and also drop leaves for them. So, Pretty helpful.
Yeah, it seemed like there was lots of buddy-buddy relationships. The jungle crows would get on the boar's back and eat the bugs off of them. I feel like we might be backing ourselves a little bit into a corner here because it kind of looks like we're leaning towards that nature is frugal, and yeah, that makes sense. I think that, I mean, the tiger would eat once a week. That would fill them up for a week, and they were pretty thrifty that way. You know, they'd make a little kind of meal prep throughout the week.
Yeah. Kill one deer, eat on it for a good chunk of time, let it bake and decompose.
Yeah, no, they didn't do that.
Yeah, they did. They're talking about how, because the wild boars started eating the dead carcass, and they were saying, but the tiger waits until the body, or prefers the body somewhat decomposed, so it's easier to eat, and da-da-da. You know, from another angle of it, too, this movie was only 50 minutes long. 5-0. There wasn't a lot of fluff. I feel like everything they discussed or filmed had a relation to their main point, had a purpose.
Well, it came with a book. Why don't you, let's, do you want me to do the quiz to you, or do you want to do the quiz to me?
Well, let me see if the answers are shown right there, because we could both do it if it's not. Really interesting, cute little book, too. Like, seriously, 6-year-old me would have just died over this. Dang. Poaching is sad. Like,
Donna
really
Edwards,
sad.
2018. Poaching. What a bummer.
For real. Oh, answers on page 24. Okay, let's do this.
Okay,
Are
well,
you ready?
No, hold on. One of us should do this, or we should... I think you should ask me the questions, and I'll give you my answers, okay?
Okay. Question 1. The preferred prey of the Bengal tiger is A. Humans, B. Hoofed animals, C. Monkeys.
Humans.
Really?
Yeah, humans.
Okay. And then you want me to tell you?
Yeah, tell me the answer.
Okay. Answer is B. Hoofed animals.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
And I said, yeah. With animals.
We can rewind and hear that you didn't say that.
Okay, well, whatever. We'll do it later.
Okay. 2. Of the following 3 subspecies of tiger, which is the odd one out? A. The Bali tiger, B. The Sumatran tiger, or C. The Bengal tiger.
Trick answer D, Tony the tiger.
And that is correct. It
Nailed
is Tony the tiger. He is the odd one out. Okay. The different subspecies are mainly defined by A. The color of their eyes, B. The pattern of stripes, or C. Where they come from.
Again, D, it's a trick answer. It's their credit score.
For the record, that one's C, where they come from, hence Bengal and Sumatran and Bali. Anyway, the tiger's closest relative is A, the jaguar, B, the saber-toothed tiger, or C, the domestic cat.
Again, D, his cousin Tony the tiger. All these are trick answers.
We don't have to play this game.
No, I love it. I'm doing great.
Interesting fact.
Hey, I'm Tony. That's not even close. I'm gonna cut that out.
Hey, I'm Tony.
Hey, I'm Tony the tiger.
You're doing really great impressions tonight.
Hey. There are other tigers than me.
Interesting fact, the saber-toothed tiger wasn't a tiger at all. In fact, it wasn't even in the cat family.
BS.
So says this book.
Well, what is it then?
I will find it when I find the page that was on. Okay. The Smilodon,
The Smellydon, yeah.
better known as a saber-toothed tiger, was not really a tiger. In fact, it wasn't even a true cat. It belonged to a group of carnivores called nimravids. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Which roamed the earth from 1.6 million years ago until as recently as the last ice age 11,000 years ago.
So what are Nimrods?
I have no idea, but
Other
they're
than-
carnivores.
I know that Nimrods were...
Nimravids.
Nimrovids was Green Day's album.
Okay. The answer, by the way, its closest relative is A, the jaguar.
All right, come on, let's keep going. I got
Okay.
this.
The ideal tiger habitat contains A, open spaces and high rainfall, B, a supply of prey and dense vegetation cover, C, human settlements.
C, human settlements. That's where the closest cereal factories are.
The answer is B. A supply of prey and dense vegetation cover.
This is bullshit.
Oh my god, this is amazing. It's a picture. What is this tiger doing? A, marking its territory. B, stalking. C, washing. And just to describe...
It's pooping.
It looks like it's pooping.
No, it's pooping.
It's pooping.
This tiger's pooping. I have owned cats almost my whole life.
So, are you saying option D, pooping?
Option D, pooping.
And that is correct. Option D, pooping.
The ungiven option. That's how I did so well in high school.
I mean, that's really just the nice way of saying marking its territory. Am I right?
No, those are two different things.
It's pooping. Anyway, 7. The tiger has teeth that are specially adapted for A, grinding and chewing bones, B, gnawing and nibbling carcasses, or C, stabbing and slicing their prey.
It has teeth that are dedicated to D, sparkling at people that they try to sell the cereal to.
And that is halfway correct.
You're yes-anding me semi-okay.
The given answer is actually stabbing and slicing their prey, which I did not know. But that is true.
So saith the book.
So saith the book. 8. Tigers kill prey by A, biting the neck or throat, B, crushing the skull, or C, letting it bleed to death.
Again, it's option D. They kill by laying down some sick guitar riffs. They slay that way. Ride the tiger!
What is that?
It's Dio, I think. It's a song.
I've never heard it. I don't
You
believe
can
you.
see his stripes, but you know he's clean.
What?
I think that's how it goes.
You're gonna have to play this song for me.
You could just believe me.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't believe it unless I see it. Okay, so tigers kill prey by biting the neck or throat. That is the answer. 9. Tiger footprints are called. Remember them saying this in the movie? Because it freaked me out. I didn't know if that was their accent or what. They're called A, pug marks, B, pad prints, or C, claw marks.
Called pawpaws. Happy Father's Day, everybody.
Happy Father's Day. Yes, they're called pawpaws. No, they're called pug marks. I wonder why. Okay.
Riveting audio.
I know. 10. Tiger cubs leave home, A, when their mother is ready to mate again, B, when they are weaned, or C, when they find mates of their own.
D, whenever the mother doesn't let them go to the concerts they want to go to.
No, it's A, whenever their mother's like, get out, I'm gonna have some sex again. So, that is the correct answer.
You yes-handed me about 50% of the time on that one.
You're welcome. Okay, 11.
Oh God, there's more. I thought there was only like 10.
Most of the 100 people killed by tigers in India each year...
Provoked them, that's my answer.
What?
Provoked them. Taunted them. Flipped them the bird.
Now, what kind of people are getting eaten?
Dickheads.
Yes, that is correct.
Question 12.
It's actually fishermen, because tigers are great swimmers.
We're gonna have to go to improv school together.
I want people to know the real answers.
I'm giving the real answers here.
We learned about tigers. Anyway. 12. Tigers urinate often because...
On everything.
A,
They pissed everywhere in this movie. There was piss.
We never once saw anyone piss, so this is an interesting question they must discuss in the
They
book.
also didn't talk about saber-toothed tigers in the movie.
So?
Well, then why are you calling it out? Saber-toothed tigers piss everywhere. Next question. I mean, just normal tigers piss everywhere.
Well, the answer is because
No!
it helps them lay a scent.
That was the same as another question earlier.
No, it's not. Okay. Roaring is often used to attract attention when
They get stuff stuck in their paws. I know that one's true. It was in the Bible.
It's
They get
actually
stuck.
when a female needs to be fucked. your face.
I just didn't like that use of that word.
I'm
Next question.
sorry. I almost said that earlier with, her making her cubs leave. Anyway, when a mother tiger goes hunting, A, the cubs stay in a den. B, the cubs are left with another female tiger. Or C, the cubs go too.
The Cubs go too.
That's
The World
correct.
Series.
The
Go
World
Cubs, go. Go
Series.
Cubs, go.
Woo,
Go Cubs,
Chicago.
go.
All
That's
right.
not where they're from.
I thought it was.
It is. I'm messing with you.
You butt. Okay. Male tigers sometimes kill cubs in order to what?
Make more.
That pretty much. Yeah.
Oh, I got it right?
Yeah. It's so that they can bring the mother into breeding condition. Yeah.
So, well, great. What I get?
White tigers are
There's more. My God, I thought we weren't gonna have enough content for this episode.
A, albinos, B, snow tigers, or C, genetically mutated Bengal tigers.
D, racist.
That is true.
Yep, all white tigers.
Hashtag all white tigers. They're genetically mutated, which is interesting. Look at this picture. There's both of them. They're brothers or sisters or brother and sister. I
Wow,
don't know.
it just has like two tigers holding guns and they're shooting people.
Wow.
Maybe we should poach more tigers.
Brandon.
What? It's
They're
that book that
endangered.
says- That book says it shows the tiger shooting people.
it does not, you butt.
It does.
Okay, next.
Oh my God, there's so many questions.
There's 20 in total. There's 4 more.
Go,
Okay.
go.
Tigers generally prefer to live A, alone, B, in large family groups, or C, alone except for mothers with
In
cubs.
condos in Seattle.
No, they hate that, actually.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they hate that.
Well, then why did the
Especially Seattle.
Well, then why did the movie have that whole scene where it started like, oh, baby, the field blues are coming, and then like, it's like, oh, hello, I'm Tiger.
Was that
number-"
the Sleepless in Seattle? Is that what you just did?
No, that was Frasier, honey.
Oh, I get them confused because Seattle.
You thought there was a theme song to Sleepless in Seattle?
Cut
The
this
movie?
all out.
No.
I've never seen it.
Shame on you.
That's why I'm going to be good in Seattle, because I've never seen it, so I won't even be that annoying tourist.
Ask the next question.
Okay. For the record,
No, not for the record. Just go through the quiz.
it's C, alone except for mothers with cubs. 18. Project Tiger is an initiative devoted to
Tiny insects getting eerily red. Stop. Next question.
Okay. The tiger is the world's fastest, biggest, or rarest cat.
Stripest.
That is true, actually.
No, the zebra beat it out.
It's not a cat.
Oh. I forgot the cat part of that
The
question.
zebra cat. The stripest of the cats.
Call him Zats.
Okay,
I can't believe there's more.
for the record, it's the biggest cat. I didn't know that.
Okay.
20.
Oh, is this the last one?
I'm not going to say this right. The Sundarbans region is in which 2 countries? What a boring, not tiger question to end on.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, it's in India and Bangladesh. Anyway, if you want to help the tigers, you can go to www.21stcenturytiger.org. The David Shepherd Wildlife Foundation also funds campaigns to support the Bengal tiger at www.davidshepherd.org. That's the handsome guy, right?
No, that was John or Mitchie.
John, I'm sorry.
So what were the websites again? Let's make sure they're up and running still.
Good call. That's www.21stcenturytiger.org. 21stcenturytiger.org.
It's now conservewildcats.org.
That makes sense.
This movie came out in 2001, honey, so not all those facts may not be.
Okay, what about www.davidshepard.org?
I don't care.
Okay.
Go to the other one.
Find out more at www.
What are we doing? We've gotten so far from the plot of what we do here.
SaveTheTigerFund.org.
Don't do that because you'll lose money. So this movie, I'm going to say it's not a frugal movie.
I think it is.
I think it's not. I think it's asking for money for tigers, and I think that we don't.
How is that not frugal? They're getting other people's money to raise their cause.
But that's taking away money from people.
What's not frugal about that?
But it's taking away the viewers' money. If you watch this movie, you'll be losing money.
That's not true. You don't have to go donate.
All right, I guess you're right. I guess fine.
It was frugal with time, it was frugal with money, and it was frugal with resources.
Okay.
With a little asterisk next to money because we don't know how much they paid or if that was moral.
Yeah, if the employees of this film may or may not have been cool with working. Okay, well, it's been 4 hours since we started recording.
Yeah, right.
No, that was okay, it's another one in the frugal. We only have one non-frugal movie. I think we're looking at more and more movies being frugal than we thought they would be. I think we're gonna have to really start cracking down on some people.
I agree.
But for now, if you want to learn how to be frugal, watch The Tigers.
Mm-hmm. Swamp Tigers.
Swamp Tigers.
Swamp Tiger.
Tiger style.
Well, I guess that's it then. Until next week.
No, we have things to do.
I thought we weren't going to see each other till next week.
We have things to do in the podcast still.
Oh.
we haven't finished the podcast. Then we can go on and continue the bit.
Oh, okay. MB. So anyway, thanks for listening. Is that what we have left?
No, do you want? I was hoping. Oh, thank you to the.
Thank everyone, but starting with thanks for listening.
Well, thank you for listening. Yeah.
And thank you to the Lounge Kittens for providing us with our intro and outro music, their cover of Dirty Deeds.
They do a cover of Rollin' by Limp Bizkit, and it's kind of the greatest thing on the planet.
And the video is so freaking funny.
It is. It's real good.
Yeah.
Thank you to David for the artwork we have right now for the podcast. You can find him at mutedimagery.com. He does really great work, great photography work, and really fun interviews over there, so go check him out. You can find us on a number of platforms, including Anchor and iTunes and Breaker and Radio Public and Castbox, Pocket Casts, a number of different places. You just search for The Bargain Den. Thanks to Anchor, making it really easy to get on all those platforms. And if you wouldn't mind, if you enjoyed listening, if you wanted to swing over to iTunes and give us a review and rate and review us, that would be very cool. We'd appreciate it. We had a review last week that was very cool. It was from Quentin, and Quentin says, movie podcasts are...
No, wait, read the title. It's my favorite part.
Oh, sorry. Money well spent. It's funny.
Get it? Because it's free.
Yeah. Quentin says... movie podcasts are plenty in this world, so why should you listen to this one? Well, because they take movies on in a way that's pretty unique. They go for the cheapest movies they can find, Walmart movies, bin, grab bags, etc., and they don't just judge the movie normally, they also grade the movie on its frugality. It's a fun concept I've really been enjoying, and the people doing it have kept me entertained. 10 out of 10. Thanst, Quentin. I really appreciate that. It's very, very nice of you to do that. And if you do,
my day.
Yeah, it did. It made my day as well. It's super cool. If you want to leave us a review, and we'll try to get it read here on the show. So if you want us to say the words you type, and then we'll read them. It's a magic trick. You type it, and we'll say it. It's a free way to say words aloud, to have other people say the words for you. I think that'll wrap us up. Oh, you can find, if you want to contact us for any reason, you can contact us at thebargaindencast@gmail.com.
That's the bargain, DEN cast at gmail.com.
Do you not think I say den well enough?
No, it's just that It sounds a lot like bin, because that's the pun.
What?
What? Anyway, feel free to contact us. We love hearing from you guys, and feel free to leave us a review or share it with your friends. Tell them about the swamp tigers and all the great things you learned about them in our quiz.
And you can say that they're great.
Oh my gosh.
That was a good Tony, right?
That was good. That was the best impression you've done tonight.
It's just I think when I usually give somebody the name Tony, they kind of talk like this, you know. It's Tony. Hey,
Tony.
hey, Tony, Tony.
Thank you all for joining us.
Yes, thank you very much. My name is Brandon,
And I'm Donna.
and this has been the Bargain Bin.
Stay frugal.
And the Dun Dun Cheese.